back to another Short and Sweet, where the reviews are short.
And it's really sweet that they shared it with us.
That's really sweet. We have two Penelopes here on the table, right?
To share with you. We have the Penelope Rio and their 9-year barrel strength private release, private select. It's a lot to remember.
Private release, private select. I think it's the official title.
Same thing.
So we have the 9-year here in our Drink More bourbon glass, and then we have the Rio in our Bourbonite logoed glasses. I say we start with the 9-year.
I disagree.
Before we go to the finish.
Okay, that's fair enough, because while the 9-year is a 106 proof, while the Rio is 98 proof, the Rio does have a honey and Amburana finish, and Amburana typically one I'm not actually a fan of. I know a lot of people really like it.
Full disclosure.
It does stick around a lot, so normally I would say, no, Chad, you're wrong. But this time, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right.
All right, so we're gonna start with this one. This one is around $65. It's a 9-year age stated, and it is a 4-grain. And I love their transparency because they have the blended mash bill right here on the back. So this is 85% corn, 10% rye, 2% wheat, and 3% malted barley, non-chill filtered.
Yep.
You got that one in stereo.
An annual release.
Oh, very classic flavors. There's a pretty good amount of oak there on the nose.
Yeah, I think it's really striking that what I would expect from like a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old product would be that balance between those sweet classic flavors or notes and then that oak.
And also something, I want to say sort of fluffy, like a marshmallow or something. There's something...
It smells fluffy.
Smells fluffy. To your health. Yeah. That's pretty delightful.
Yeah, between 60 and 70 bucks. 9-year, non-chill filtered, barrel proof. I already think that is a solid deal in today's market, considering that when we start getting to that age statement and barrel strength, a lot of these things start becoming limited releases.
Yeah.
Nowadays. Now, go back 10 years ago, people will argue, well, I used to be able to get...
Sure,
That's true. I want to live
got a time machine?
I want to live in those days also.
So this was distilled in Indiana and Kentucky. So it's a combination of those two states.
It has a really solid mouthfeel.
It does, yeah.
Pretty oily, buttery, just like glides. There is some spice and some pepper in that heat on the finish. Blind, I would probably say 110, which is very close to 106. But I think I would I think I would shoot over instead of under, because it does have like some pepper and some heat on the finish, right?
Blind, I would say 109.5. But
it hangs out and it gives you that hug, which to me, it's leaning a little hotter than the 106, but I still like it. I enjoy it.
A lot of cracked black pepper is sort of what I'm getting on this, and a little bit of citrus, a little bit of orange peel kind of in there. It's really nice. I do enjoy. I would recommend this. Yeah,
I'm enjoying this one.
Really good.
Yeah, if you can find it, it is an annual release.
Yeah.
I don't know how available they are, but for the price point, if you came across something like this, especially coming up to the holidays, it would probably make a nice gift for somebody who likes a barrel strength. Probably haven't had this one.
For sure it would. Before we go on to the Rio, I want to hit pause and tell you about our home on the internet. It's whiskyambitions.com. It's where you can get both of the sweatshirts that we're wearing, because it's starting to get cold out there.
We're very cozy today.
Also our hats, the Glencairns where we're drinking from, but we also have Copitas and rocks glasses, challenge coins, bottle cut candles, event tickets, which you can learn about right up here, and more always coming soon at whiskyambitions.com.
And you can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonite and join our community for as little as $1 a month, and that is where folks, depending on their tier, get discounts on that merch like Chad was talking about, first access to those event tickets, also that Chad was talking about, access to barrel picks, and more.
All right, and now on to the Rio, which I cannot say without hearing the song in my head.
Rio.
No.
Oh, that's Lido.
That's what?
Just kidding.
Talking about the Duran Duran song.
Oh, yeah.
Her name is Rio.
Well, I hear the other one, even though it's not the right words.
Yeah. So we are going down a little bit in proof, down to 98. But the reason why we chose this one second, that is because it is a finished whiskey.
Yes, honey and Amburana, as we said before. I've already let you know my feelings on Amburana. But this one is part of the Cooper series over at Penelope. So that one's sort of an exploratory series on wood finish, different wood finishes from around the world. You got this one, a rosé cask finish, the Valencia, which is those like macerated oranges, and then a Tokai. I could smell the Amburana from it just sitting there.
But I'm glad it's not just Amburana. It's also honey.
The honey is making it smell like fresh baked and iced cinnamon rolls, like that sticky cream cheese frosting on the top. Freshly baked cinnamon rolls, which I really want now. In theory, I'm like, oh, if it tastes like that, I will really like it, but I just can't with Amburana.
So this says it's a carnival in a bottle, and I think that sums up the smell. It does smell like a carnival.
Sweets and treats.
Yeah.
Baked goods.
Also, a little bit walking into a candle store, which I think is what turns us off.
When it comes to Amburana.
About Amburana, but you know, there are different ways to add another barrel to it or pull back on how much is added into the mix, how long it rests, so forth. But here we go. To your health. Okay, we've had some full-on capital letter Amburana finishes before, and they have been Cinnamon Toast Crunch and
I call it furniture polish and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yes, which this is not, thankfully.
No, it's not.
Either
it is more cinnamon bun.
Yeah, whatever they have done, whether it's the addition of the honey barrel, or the length of time, or just the amount that is in the blend, whatever it is, you're getting that touch of, as it says on here, kind of carnival. Holiday, but in a warmer climate type of vibes.
Yeah, I'm gonna classify this as more of like a holiday morning when everyone gets up and someone has just baked fresh cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
It's that feeling. It is not something, it's much how you feel about like High West and Midwinter's Night Dram or Angel's Envy Rye, not something that you could drink all the time. This is something I could see myself reaching for during the holidays. Outside of that, it's one of the better Amburanas that I have had, for sure.
Yeah.
And that I can actually enjoy and drink it. Usually I'm just like, no thank you. I don't see it as something that I personally would be reaching for every day, but I totally see why people are going nuts over Amburana, like with things that taste like this.
It's sort of like a cocktail flavor to it. Sort of like if a old fashioned and a hot toddy kind of came together, because it's got a lot of those hot toddy,
that cinnamon
and lemon type of feeling, but also the spirit is showing through like in an old fashioned.
It's perplexing me. Like the more I sip it, the more I'm like, do I like this?
Do I really like this? Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Let's talk about price on this one, Sarah.
This one's higher, listed as $90 MSRP, and it was a limited release. So at the time that you're viewing this, it may have already come and gone in your area. But I think the important thing is to remember like that they're coming out with these types of different experimental wood finishes at Penelope, and if that's something you're interested in, you should watch out for the Cooper series when it hits your area. Okay,
very good. Well, hey, that's where we'll leave it. If you haven't subscribed to us already, you can do so by clicking right up here. There's suggestions of other videos down here. Hope to see you over there in one of those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Penelope. Until next time, drink more bourbon.